Morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, it's Saturday. You know I don't make new videos on Saturday. I do members only on Saturday. But then it happened. The Adelson jury foreperson spoke. Yo, I was clutching all my pearls to scream. I scrumped. You do not even understand. So I'm like, wait. I need to talk to the curtain twitchers about this. Y'all know y'all nosy. I'm nosy too. Look, we're going to review everything this little jury foreperson said. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share out this madness that I call a YouTube channel. We are so close to 30,000 subscribers. Me and you, we're going to get there together. Okay, so look. Picture it. I'm sitting in my bed minding my own business last night, right? And I go on to watch Miss Brandy Churchwell. You know how I love me some Brandy Churchwell. Hey, good morning, Brandy. How you doing? Right. And so she's like, wait, over here on TikTok, the jury foreperson is speaking about the trial. And I was like, oh, I'm nosy. I want to hear every single thing. First of all, I was like, what's this girl's name? I'm going to need to get her on the gossip, the rumor, and the innuendo so I can just pick her brain and ask her all the nosy questions, right? So here's the highlights in case you missed it. The jury foreperson says, okay, they finally get the case. They go back in the room and they're talking about it and everything like, hey, how's your mom and them? Do you think this heifer did it? You think she did it? Because I think she did it, right? On the first ballot, the very first vote, they voted, all 12 voted Donna guilty. Look, all that disgraced judge and funeral home proprietor Jackie Fulford got up there and she stomped and she did whatever. And she's like, I didn't do that. What? I can't use technology. Who, me? First vote, they voted Donna guilty. But then the foreperson, she got that takeover spirit. Child, I relate to that takeover spirit. I myself have been known to take over a thing or two. Anyway, so she's like, okay. She said, they asked, who wants to be the foreperson? Everyone's like, I don't know. She's like, oh, can I do it? I would love to do it. That's exactly what I did when I was on a jury. Oh, I stood up in court and I read the verdict. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about this, Mama Luke. Anyway. So, she was like, okay. And they reviewed the evidence and they talked about it and stuff. And so she's like, okay, we're going to go through these charges one by one. Charge number 1, who votes the heifer guilty? Everybody's like, she totally did it. They're like, okay, charge number 2, guilty. Charge number 3, guilty. But then she was like, okay, we are taking our jobs very seriously. Let's make sure we review everything. And so they continued to talk about the evidence. And then they did like a written vote because the foreperson said her theory was maybe somebody is like, I'm just saying yes because everybody else says yes. If this is their chance to say no, if they think Mama Donna actually didn't do this heinous crime. So everybody wrote their answers down and they folded it up on a piece of paper and put it in a little container, whatever. And then she took them out and read them one by one and still everybody voted guilty. Then they talked about it some more. And I was like, you couldn't send a smoke signal or something to let us know? Yo. So then they talked about it some more. They went over all the evidence, right? And they were like, okay, so what are the things that point to Wendy's guilt? Just to make sure everybody is super duper extra sure, right? Right. So they talked about the evidence in the case or whatever. Child, 3 weeks worth of evidence in one vote. They were like, oh, she real guilty, which was exactly what I was thinking when I first saw this case. But I'm like, I'm not on the jury trial. I'm just a gossip on the internet. So then they did a raise hand vote. They voted 3 different ways. Donna girl, they found you guilty 3 different ways, 3 different means right away. You're going down. Now, I know Donna's probably like, oh, there's probably like a loophole or something, but no, ma'am, no. May you live to 120 years old in a jail cell, sitting by yourself, thinking about all the things you have done. So then this little TikToker was asked, do you think Wendy is next? Do you think Wendy was involved? And the jury foreperson was like, yeah. I was like, girl, you are my people. She says she thinks Wendy is next. She thinks Harvey is also guilty. And then they commented on Wendy's acting on the stand. I was like, Remember that email that Donna wrote where she was like, you have to get up there and you have to act. This is your chance. I know you can do it. I've seen you do it. The foreperson said they were like, Okay, she's a lawyer. She should know legally, law things. And she gonna get up there and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But look, nobody on this jury apparently had heard of this case before before this trial. Well, me and you, we know all about this case. Me personally, I've been following this madness for 11 years. Remember, there was a podcast, Over My Dead Body, Tally. That's the first podcast where I heard about this whole trial and everything. Dateline did a podcast where they broke down every little bit of it. Oh, the way I can hardly wait for the follow-up from Dateline. Dateline, I know y'all are watching me because y'all, of course you are. Please update your episode so we can know every single thing. And so they were saying that everybody knew that Wendy was an actress. Wendy was involved. And then they talked about Donna's outburst. In court, she was like, oh, the dramatics were so next level. Her dry crying. Child, all she needed was a cry angle. You know, like the Real Housewives do, where they fold up the tissue real tight and tiny. And then let me just dab just a little tear right here in my eye. My cry angle. You notice when the judge was like, Mrs. Adelson, I will give you 2 minutes to get your act right fully installed before I come down there with my gavel of justice and commence to bonking you on the head. Oh, the way I wanted to get her bonked. I mean, I wouldn't have got her bonked. Child, she would have got herself bonked. Now look, some nosy people in my audience, thank you nosy people, I appreciate y'all real much, have been saying to me, did you read Donna's lips? Now, I personally cannot read lips. Now, I just surmise what I think people said, but I cannot technically read lips. If you can read lips, please hit me up and let me know. Apparently, as they read the charges, when Donna was weeping and wailing and going crazy, she was saying things. I don't know what she said, but somebody told me that they read lips and that Donna reportedly, allegedly said, Wendy did this to me. What? Now look. We know that's what she thinks because she had her lawyer throwing Wendy under the bus every single chance she got. But lip reading curtain twitchers, please rewatch the verdict reading and tell us what Donna's lips are saying. You can give wrong answers too, because I would appreciate that. In my mind, she was like, not in this outfit. Oh my God. I wear fancy clothes and I'm thinner than this. Y'all got me out here on TV, the Dateline and everything with my roots out, no Botox. Where are my contact lenses? And I look like a lunch lady. Y'all. You know she looked like she worked at the Dollar Tree on the weekends. That's not how Donna usually looks. She is usually snatched and pulled together. But I don't know. Here's the other thing. The jury foreperson said she thought that George and them would go after Wendy, but she suspected that they didn't have as much evidence on Wendy. Here's the thing that I have discovered over the life of this case. Remember when Donna was arrested down at the Miami airport and we were all so excited? Oh my God, the way I was so excited. They got Donna's phone. Now we know that Donna used WhatsApp, and WhatsApp has end-to-end encryption, which means nobody can read those messages, not even WhatsApp, unless they get your phone. They seized Donna's phone, so they didn't have to like backdoor go in the phone. You know, Donna ain't have no lock on her phone. She just left her phone laying around or whatever. I just made that up, but it feels true in my spirit. If you are able to get into the WhatsApp, you don't have to worry about encryption because all the messages will be right there. What, pray tell, might Donna have been saying to Wendy over WhatsApp when they seized her phone? Remember at the airport, she was like, no, not the phone. My lawyer says I don't have to give you the phone. Girl, you're being arrested. And I know you think the rules don't apply to you, but they got your phone. They got your phone, boo-boo. This is not going to go good at all. So in my estimation, there may be new evidence against Wendy from Donna's phone and other devices that were seized from the house. I am not in law enforcement. See, also, I am just a gossip on the internet, but this totally feels true in my spirit. Also, who else is playing the new game? where's Wendy? Because me, I'm hardcore playing, where's Wendy? Y'all, the Google alerts I have set, I want to know, where's Wendy? Please, curtain twitchers, do not go out there and stalk this woman. But if you happen to see her down at the CVS or the Target or something, hit a sister up because I want to know. Is Wendy out in these streets? The best place to look for her, the Ben and Jerry's aisle, the frozen food section down at your local Publix or whatever you got down there. You know she's eating gallons of ice cream. The stress. During the first couple of trials, she was like, they're not going to arrest me because I have not done anything. This last trial, she was looking a little rough. You know, she had that Christmas tree hair, you know, where it was done in the front, but she ain't even bother with the back. Wendy girl, you don't have no good friends because there's no way in the world if you had good friends, they would have you out in these true crime streets with the front of your hair looking almost okay and the back of it looking like a whole mess. Ma'am, you were looking like one of them Dr. Seuss characters with just like the hair all akimbo. It was not a good look. Her cheeks were looking a little puffy. She was looking a little tired. Yeah, ma'am, eye cream. In our age category, you really, really need to go with the eye cream. So we will continue to not stalk Wendy Adelson while still playing Where's Wendy. 2 days since the conviction, and we still have not seen Wendy, not publicly. Is she gonna go to work? Is she gonna walk the kids to school? Oh, the kids are old enough to take themselves to school. Also, it's summer. No, school has started already. Y'all, I kind of need to know where's Wendy. Also, Donna's friends. What y'all saying? What y'all thinking? And when do y'all want to come and talk? Look, Annie Cunningham. Annie girl. Hey, I found that blouse that you were wearing. Gorgeous. Talbot's bi-colored poppy blouse. It's sold out in my size. So if anybody sees that, hit me up and let me know. gossiprumormail@gmail.com. Annie Cunningham with the fabulous clothes. How you feeling, girl? Are you over there like mixing up recipes that with a cake that will accommodate a file? I know you're real sad for your girlfriend. Or were you like, this is terrible. I guess I got a new BFF. Something tells me Donna doesn't have the kind of friends who are just going to be friend to the end. They're going to be like, oh, it's terrible. Annie Cunningham is dining off of this story right now, and she's gone on to the next thing. What about the friends from the Gourmet Club? What meal are you going to serve as you discuss Donna's incarceration and Harvey's pending incarceration? If you ask me. Look, if the Gourmet Club that Donna and Harvey were members of really, really love Donna, they should have a prison-themed gourmet night. That is, you look up on the internet and find all the foods that you can buy out of the prison commissary and see what delicious gourmet recipes you can make from ramen noodles, cakes and pies, and honey buns. I'm just saying, just an idea. You could have like a Zuzu's and Wham Wham's buffet. I don't know how it works, but I'm just saying, Gourmet Club, you really, really, truly should honor your friend. Now, there's a couple of things that the jury foreperson pointed out that were Wendy's actions that may hang her. And I was like, foreperson, lady, tell me every single thing. Number one, the drive down Trescott Drive. Remember when Charlie got convicted? And Charlie was like, why she have to go over there? She knew we was going to do the unfortunate unaliving. Why was Wendy going over there? And I was like, oh, yes. Why did Wendy drive down the street where she knew the pupuation was going to take place? But then she never called the daycare to be like, are my kids okay? She never called her husband, her ex-husband, to be like, hey, boy, hey, listen, your street is blocked off. Did a tree fall? Is the electricity out? Do you need anything? Can I bring you a banana bread? Something like that. And also Jeff Lacasse. Now look, Jeff Lacasse, I kind of like him. He would not be for me. I mean, also my husband doesn't let me date, but the whole thing, he said in his police videos, if you watch them, child, was a lot of police video with Jeff Lacasse, but he was like, this family was weird. They made hating Danny their entire personality. And Charlie told terrible, filthy stories while we was all in the hot tub together. Number one, I don't believe in hot tubbing with strangers because it's just like a people soup. A whole bunch of people sitting in the bathtub together. I wouldn't sit in the bathtub with strangers. You know I'm not going to sit in the hot tub with them. But while sitting there in their big cauldron of people, he was just like, One of my girlfriends made me mad, and so I essayed her. Sir, no. Even if you did that, which you should not do, you certainly should not be telling people about it. And then he was just like, oh yeah, I love to travel to Asia so that I can have non-marital congress with very young Asian women. Charlie, did you notice that's your sister right there and her boyfriend? To that, I just say, ew, what is wrong with y'all? And the fact that Wendy was specific in asking Jeff about all of his travel plans. Hey, Jeff, I'm breaking up with you, but when are you leaving town? Exactly what day? What route are you taking? What's the color of your car again? No. The fact that Wendy changed her kids' last names, horrible. These are all things the jury foreperson, who knew nothing about this case, noticed during the course of the trial. Y'all, I personally believe there is a mountain of evidence against Wendy Adelson. Wendy girl, things are not looking good for you. And last but certainly not least, she didn't go to Danny's funeral and she didn't take her kids to Danny's funeral. Now, maybe there was a memorial service or something later on. Okay, that's great. This man's actual funeral, you didn't let his children go and say goodbye. Did you at least get a funeral program, a prayer card? I don't know how other faiths do it. But y'all, Wendy, where you at, girl? Where you at? Is she gonna call her? How much PTO does she have? You think she's gonna use up all her PTO days until she gets arrested? Look, not that it's all about me, because it's certainly not. But last time Charlie got arrested, then I went on a cruise. And while I was over there on the Lido deck, Donna got arrested down to the airport. Now, Donna has been convicted and I'm about to go on another cruise. Wendy girl, be careful, or at least make sure that you get arrested during a time that I have good Wi-Fi. Y'all hit me up. Look, if I'm out of pocket and you see them putting cuffs on Wendy, immediately reach out to me on all social media platforms, please and thank you. Look, where's Wendy? Day 3. Y'all keep an eye out. You know how we do. I will see you next crime. Bye.